Imagine the uproar. Children born on the US soil, once guaranteed citizenship, now denied. This isn't just a policy debate. This is a monumental constitutional showdown that is bound to happen if President-elect Donald Trump gets his way, or as he is proclaiming to do once he takes office. This could redefine the American identity as it stands right now. Now, as President-elect sets to take office January 21, 2025, his vow to end birthright citizenship is not just a campaign rhetoric. It's a calculated move to reshaping immigration as the United States now knows it. And it is bound to reshape the immigration policy and bring the issue to the Supreme Court. And maybe that is the intention. Now, this video is going to be unpacking the potential ramifications of a decision like this, the controversy that will be sparked, the arguments for and against, and bottom line, the conclusion as to where your mindset needs to be if this policy really takes effect. So stay tuned. This is one content you do not want to miss. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Now, Donald Trump's team is set to put in place an executive order that is going to be banning the automatic citizenship of babies that are born to undocumented immigrants and to short-term visitors. Let's go back a bit though and paint a picture of what currently exists. Now, currently what happens is that if an undocumented immigrant or even a tourist goes into a hospital and they give birth to a child, that child automatically becomes a citizen. Now, sometimes it is done unintentional in terms of pre-planning, or sometimes it is a pre-planned gesture as a pathway to a long-term solution to the parents becoming a citizen. Because once that child becomes 21 years old, then they now have the legal right to file for the parents to become documented within the United States, starting with a green card and then eventually to becoming a citizen. Now, the plan to block this will include certain things like those babies will be denied passports or denied social security numbers, or to be denied any federal benefits or state benefits that might be offered to citizens. So it's not just to say ban it completely, just the action of it, but there are different arms of the whole benefits and structure that once you cut off those benefits or those processes, then automatically it is futile to be born in the United States if you are born to a short-term visitor or an undocumented immigrant. Now, while the details of this remain vague, it is a direct challenge to the 14th Amendment. You might say, what is the 14th Amendment? A very good question, because it is important that you know what is going to be challenged and what is going to be threatened by the elimination of this act. Now, the 14th Amendment really got ratified in 1868, and it is really a spin-off or a result of the Civil War, because what happened is that it was allowed that anyone who was naturalized or born within the United States would automatically become United States citizens. And this was really to protect persons who were previously enslaved so that they could have a pathway toward citizenship and legally be represented here. So you can see that as an immigrant, this is a historic thing and a very important part of history that forms the basis of many of us being here within the United States. So it's not one to be ignored if it is going to be contradicted or it is going to be reversed. Now, what is the legal pathway for such an executive order if it is signed? It is going to have a mountain of legal battle, because first and foremost, it is going to have to be presented before the Supreme Court. And maybe this is what Trump really wants, because remember, he has 3 members on the Supreme Court that he has appointed in the past. So therefore, the story is, or the narration is, that once it gets to the Supreme Court, he will have a high influence based on the persons that he appointed to the Supreme Court in his previous administration. Now you might say, has this happened before? Is there any case law that represents such a scenario? Yes, there is. There is actually a case in 1898 between the United States and Wang, whereby a man born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrant parents was granted US citizenship. Now yes, the restrictionists have argued that that is a different case because Wang was born to legal immigrants and documented immigrants within the United States. So here you see where the contradiction and the battle really is based from. And this is going to be used in terms of the arguments going forward that, hey, the law does not apply to persons who are born to, one, short-term visitors' parents or to parents that are undocumented within the United States. So it is really setting up the stage for a legal showdown in the courtroom. Now let's look at the different implications that might exist. And look at one. The statistics show that, and I really tried to get more current statistics, but the most current information that I could find was back in 2016, where it states that 250,000 children were born to undocumented immigrants. Now, if that trend were to be extrapolated to current, you will see that there are many persons within the United States who have been born to undocumented immigrants. Not to mention, adding to this amount the babies that are born to short-term visitors or foreigners who just visit the country on a visitor's visa. 35 to 37,000 babies are born each year to short-term visitors' parents. So therefore, when you add those numbers together, you can see that several millions of persons will be affected if this ruling goes into place going forward. So we have looked at the humanitarian viewpoint. We have also looked at the legal viewpoint as well. But let's look at the political surrounding of this issue. The immigration has been the cornerstone of the Trump political campaign. And therefore, it is what is going to be in their mandate to execute, especially within the first 100 days of his inauguration, or rather the first 100 days of him entering into office. This is one of the key performance indexes that he's going to be graded off, especially if the Republican wants a second term in office, because hey, though we know that Trump cannot run for another term, the Republicans want to maintain the seat in the White House. However, the critics have argued that this focus on this sector of the birthright immigration policy really does more to segregate and divide the populace, and it also ignores the complexities of immigration reform and also risks to be alienating modern voters. So therefore, it is recommended that this decision not be rushed into, as well as let us look at the road ahead in terms of the years-long battle that this is going to be, because it is going to be something that is not resolved within the first 100 days of Trump taking office, or even the first 1 or 2 years. It is going to have a lengthy showdown in the courtroom, because there's going to be different litigations and there are going to be different arguments for and against, and there are going to be different appeals raised against this. All in all, my viewpoint is that the debate over birthright citizenship is more than just a legal or political issue. It is a question of national identity. The very fabric of what the United States citizenship system was built of is now going to be questioned, especially because of the 14th Amendment now being contradicted in the very essence of what this ruling or what this proposed ruling is going to be suggesting. All in all though, one thing is very clear, that the fight over birthright citizenship is one that is going to reshape the United States for generations to come. So this is something that we really need to stay tuned to and see what the outcome is going to be. Though not around the corner, a further distance, so let's not worry yourself to say, okay, this is something that is going to affect you right now. As usual, my friends, if you know of anyone that might benefit from this information, please forward this content to them, as well as watch the videos that will be appearing maybe on the screen now or after the video is complete, so that you can be brought up to date with the other topics that we have discussed on this channel. Thank you for spending this time with me, and see you in the next video.